Hi everyone, welcome to DNA. It's been such a long time and I miss you guys so much. Today we have a very interesting guest joining us, Audrey Chang, who used to be a dessert shop owner specializing in macaron. It's my favorite dessert. So my friend once told me that almost every girl has a dream to have their own dessert shop or coffee shop at some point of their life. I don't know if that's true, but I can imagine it's not an easy thing to achieve at all. So today, let's hear Audrey's story, what it's like to be a dessert shop owner. Welcome, Audrey.
Hey, Yuji. How's it going?
Good. Thank you for joining us. I'm so excited.
I'm really glad to be here, too. Now
Cool.
that we can finally talk about it.
You other than this can't deny. But when a girl walks in with the itty bitty waist and a round thing in your face, you get sprung.
I opened up my dessert business in Philadelphia. The story behind that is really, I when I first graduated from college, I worked in finance for about 2 years, and eventually I quit because I felt like I had sold my soul. So
You sold your soul? What did you do?
I think a lot of people say that. As I was looking for a new job, I turned to baking because it was very, very therapeutic for me. And the way that I see it is really, baking is very much a recipe. It's a science, and if you just follow the directions, you'll probably usually get the right result. And I really, really loved how comforting that was. And so I've been baking my whole life, and just in this time period of my life, I baked so much where I just had to start giving things away for free. And I got really, really great reviews from people, and I kept doing it because I was so glad that I could make people happy and create joy for other people. Finally, one day I got the suggestion. They were like, maybe you should try selling your stuff. So I put on my business development hat. I went out there. I got permission to sell at a train station. I set up a little bake sale. And the moment that I sold one macaron to my first customer, I realized, actually, you kind of have a business here.
So you started at a train station.
Yes, I actually had a portable refrigerator, and I would stack that onto a rolling cart, and I'd put a table on a rolling cart, a tablecloth, and literally just bring that out there with me with my little sign and just set up.
Wow.
I got permission from the train station to sell in Philadelphia, in the major train station. I think people at first were kind of like, it's a little strange. Like, what is she doing? Eventually, after they saw me, I think that does really well in New York actually ends up doing really well in Philadelphia. It's just that there's a bit of a lag. After doing just a bit of research, like, nobody was actually tackling the macaron business in Philadelphia. It was definitely just a good opportunity there. It just kind of aligned for me. That's what you do after you've been in finance for a little bit. You kind of have to look at everything from every angle and make sure you take a calculated risk. The moment that really changed things for me was I got this one customer who she tried the salted caramel pudding. Actually, I should back up a little bit and tell you why I also sold pudding. So French macarons, the major ingredient in that is actually egg whites. So when you're making French macarons, you never ever use your egg yolk. And I realized that, this is a huge waste. I've got like 50 egg yolks sitting here, and I need to do something with it and turn it into money. So I realized that you can make any kind of custard. Creme brulee, you use egg yolks. My salted caramel pudding, which is what I ended up creating with that, used up all of my egg yolks. And so I positioned myself as a French macaron and a pudding shop.
Wow, that's such a great idea.
So this woman, she showed up, she bought some stuff, and after she took one bite of that salted caramel pudding, she was just like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. This, you need to be on Yelp. And later that night, I got a notification that somebody had made a business listing for me on Yelp. She had written a review, and she literally, I think if I go back and I can look up, I can maybe try and find that review, but it was something along the lines of, I will dream about this pudding tonight. I want to roll around in it.
Wow.
After this woman put me on Yelp, and I guess she was like a really, really elite Yelp person or something, it just took off. I became known as sort of this underground bakery that you had to get lucky to find, which I really was underground because I was in a train station. But, I would be there certain hours every single day, and you had to be lucky to find me because I didn't actually have a physical address. Sort of it was my full-time job pretty much.
Got it.
And I remembered that, I did that for probably about 6 months. I had my first Valentine's Day running the bakery event, and it was hilarious. That day, I had a line of just men snaking down the hallway of a train station. They're all waiting in line to buy the $20 Valentine's Day special where I gave you 2 puddings and 6 macarons. And I remember asking them, I was like, what flavors do you want to choose? They're like, I don't care. Just put something in there. And eventually what happened was I just got to a point where everything that I could fit on my cart, I would sell out in like 2 hours. And I realized that, there's a lot more demand for this, and I had to be able to meet that demand. So I ended up moving my operation out of now I guess I can tell people now, I was baking out of my apartment. You're not supposed to do that. And I realized, if I had to upgrade my operation and really start to make more money and meet demand, and I would have to move myself into a commercial kitchen. So I found a restaurant and negotiated with them to work out of their kitchen at night. I was working basically between the hours of 10 p.m. and like 8 a.m. every single day. But on the plus side, we had a giant commercial oven, and we also had a giant commercial mixer. So, all of a sudden, one batch went from like 50 macarons to I could make 200. It was great. And I made a list of all of the different coffee shops, all of the different cafes in the city, and I just went up and I set up meetings with them, and I just kept pushing my product. What was really good was, and this is kind of different from other people who try to go wholesale, right, is I already had a customer base, and I already had a relationship, a very direct relationship with my customers, and that actually really helped, because I wasn't just going up to, business owners and being like, please try my stuff, I promise you that it's really good, take a chance on me. I had a Facebook page, I had a following, I had a Yelp page, right, and I had advocates. And so I actually just called on my following, and was like, go to your neighborhood coffee shop and tell them, I need you to carry this person. I got myself into 6 different coffee shops.
Wow, amazing.
And so it turned into more of a wholesale operation where we were strategically placed around the city to give us as big of a footprint as we could have. I just, hired a delivery guy, and we just turn out the stuff, package it up, send it out. And so that ended up being the next phase. So we stopped doing the train station after we really fully launched that. After that, though, working at night really started to take a toll on me. And I got this tip that there's actually a restaurant in Chinatown that was looking to get out of their lease. And so I went over there and I talked to the guy, and I was like, you know what? This actually sounds like a pretty good deal. I took over the lease, and I finally got to stop working at night, which is really, really good.
Got it. So that's the moment when you start to have your own store.
Yes. I wanted to be in Chinatown because I think what was important for me, being an Asian American, right, is that as we get older in the different cities that we live in, right, this Chinatown is going to evolve, and there's going to be more and more business owners like me that are going to go in there and take their place. And I think that, it's really important to be represented there and for people to understand that the faces of Chinatown can also look like me. And you don't go there to just, haggle for, cheap things or, just go grocery shopping. I was the first successful dessert concept that happened to be in Chinatown, because usually people go to Chinatown and, you'll spend $8-10 on a dinner. And what I thought was really interesting, and I knew that I had really hit on something, was when people would go to my store after having dinner and then just slap down another $10 for dessert, which was, it's just amazing kind of how people place value on things. But over time we realized we kind of have to diversify a little bit, add coffee, and we started adding different types of cakes, and then we also started adding ice cream sandwiches in the summer that really got people in the door. It was a really, really fun adventure, kind of getting to that point. I wouldn't say that there was anything well planned out. I didn't, say I need to do this first and then have a wholesale operation and then open a store. It really was just kind of a very organic development of what my life needed at different times, and when I realized I could push myself. We start early, and then we end late. Normally, I would be open between the hours of 12 p.m. and 8 p.m. Because macarons and puddings aren't really a breakfast item. It was a hard life,
Yeah, and you have to work 7 days a week, I bet.
Yeah, and there's a lot of manual labor that goes into it. So So, I've never washed so many dishes in my life. I mopped a lot of floors. I did a lot of weightlifting in there because we'd get deliveries of like 50 or 100-pound bags of sugar and flour. I multitasked so much when I was running a kitchen. When you think about it, once you start your mixer, it's going to sit there for 10 minutes, and you actually have 10 minutes to go do something else. And so when I go about doing a lot of tasks and projects throughout my day, it was kind of layered. It was like you'd have something running in the background, and you go and start another thing and have that running in the background. And finally, you go back to the first thing again, and when you finish that, I would train my staff to be like that.
How many people did you have at the time to help you out?
When I first started, I actually only hired 2 people. The point where we had the most people, I actually had 5 people staffed.
Wow. So you actually created 5 jobs from your dessert shop.
Yeah. Actually my first time being a manager, and I learned so much about, how do you motivate people, how do you inspire them. I was really young still. I was like 25 when I was doing this, so mostly hiring people who were like fresh college graduates or people who were still in college looking for a part-time job. I actually got a text message from one of my former employees who told me, it really was just like, hey, I wanted to let you know, thank you for employing me and teaching me what you did and giving me the opportunity to work there. Because of that experience, she now has the opportunity to go and be one of the main pastry chefs for another store that was opening up.
Ooh.
And it was just like, it was so far in the past in my life, and like, you don't realize how you influence people by, as you said, creating jobs and then taking a chance on people. I get customers sometimes that come in and they think they know a little bit more than you do about your business. It's rare for like an Asian person to hear from your parents, like, I'm proud of you doing this and for taking the risk. I couldn't be a single founder.